I was looking back at old pictures and videos of myself, and it's so hard to believe how far I've come. I used to struggle, like really struggle, so much so that it could almost bring me to tears, just feeling so sad for the old version of myself. It was just so frustrating to want it so bad, and I just couldn't seem to figure it out. So today's video, I'm going to show you what a typical day of eating looked like for me while losing this weight. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Stasia, and like you just saw in my intro, I have recently lost almost 60 pounds by eating high fiber foods following a whole food plant-based diet. So today's video, I'm going to be showing you what a typical breakfast, lunch, and dinner looked like for me while I was losing this weight. If you're new to my channel, then I just want to preface this video with saying that I know what it feels like to struggle to get the weight off. I have had weight issues my whole life, up and down, been all around the block trying to figure out how to get this weight off. So I know how frustrating it can feel when you feel like you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing and it's still just not working. And that's why I love doing my channel so much, because I've been there. I know exactly what it feels like. And now that I've finally cracked the code, well, at least for myself, then it brings me great joy to be able to share my experience here with you guys in hopes that it can help you too. I know a lot of you might just be starting on your weight loss journey, or some of you might be like me, where you've tried 1,000 times over and over again and it still hasn't worked. So today's video, I'm going to be focusing on what a typical day looked like for me while I was losing that first 20 pounds. For those of you who have been following me, you might remember me talking about how fast that first 20 pounds came off for me. It was literally 8 weeks. I lost 20 pounds without exercising by literally just implementing these changes that I'm going to be showing you in today's video. But before we jump into today's video, in case it's your first time landing on my channel, then right now I am running an amazing sale on all of my weight loss recipe ebooks. But more particularly, I'm running a sale on my 2 newest ebooks, which are my Shake It Off weight loss recipe ebook that contains over 22 fiber protein shakes, which we're going to be talking a little bit more about those later, as well as my No Overt Fats weight loss recipe ebook. Now this ebook contains all the recipes that I was eating the most to get the first 30 pounds off. So right now I'm running an amazing special on both of these books. As a bundle, they are on sale for only $10. And at that price, you're literally getting both of my brand new ebooks for less than the price of one of them at their original price. Now, technically, this sale was only supposed to last 48 hours, but I've had a lot of people message me recently saying that they felt really bad because they missed out on certain sales or they missed out on my giveaways because not everyone watches my videos on the very first day that I release them. So taking all that into consideration, I've decided to extend this sale to the end of this weekend. So if you didn't get a chance to grab a copy of that bundle, then you have until the end of this weekend to do so. So if you'd like to check out that bundle or any of my other weight loss recipe ebooks, then I will have the link to all of my books posted in my description box below. All right, so let's get into the video. But before I show you the foods that I was eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I also just want to mention a handful of things that I also feel contributed to getting those first 20 pounds off. So the first thing being is that I removed all overt fats out of my diet. Now, this may not be for everyone, this is my personal experience, but I'm telling you, this was what changed everything for me. I stopped including any types of nuts or seeds in my diet, no avocado anymore because I used to love my avocado toast. Didn't realize that it was keeping me in a calorie surplus though, because avocados are so calorie dense. As well as, of course, using no oils whatsoever. So removing my overt fats was the #1 change that I implemented in those first 20 pounds. And the second thing kind of goes hand in hand with that. As a result of reducing my overt fats, I ended up increasing a ton of foods that were high in fiber. And another one that I want to touch on is snacking. I used to be a chronic snacker, but we're talking, the kind of snacking that I wasn't actually hungry. I was snacking out of boredom, out of stress, out of emotional eating, for all the wrong reasons, basically. And I brought all of that to a screeching halt. So I really became super mindful about, am I actually hungry? Do I actually need a snack? And if I did, then I didn't deprive myself, I would have a snack. But I did a really great job at really listening to my body and trying to get the snacking thing under control. And the last thing I want to mention, which is actually the first meal of my day that we're going to be sliding into, are my fiber protein shakes. Now, for those of you who have been following me, you know for a very long time I've been talking about these shakes. And there's a good reason for that. It's because they work, or at least they worked for me, and I'm super confident that they'll work for you guys too. I have so many people message me all the time or comment on my videos telling me how amazing these shakes have been for them in terms of getting that scale to finally move. So I know I'm not the only one, and honestly, they have just been a fantastic, super strong point in my weight loss journey. So if you're new here, the magic ingredient in these shakes are beans. Now I know, upon hearing that for the first time, you might be disgusted, you might be shaking your head, what is this girl talking about? But just trust me on this one. I've designed them in a way that not only do you not taste the beans, but the shakes themselves actually taste delicious. So these are not green smoothies, these are not fruit smoothies, these are calorie dense and they are designed to keep us full. Now the general amount of beans that I would add to these shakes are about 1/2 cup, but depending on how hungry I was or if I was going to be leaving the house and I needed, to make sure that I stayed full a little bit longer, then I would add up to 3/4 to 1 cup of beans. And I'm telling you, these shakes would keep me full for at least 3 to 4 hours. And because they're designed to kind of taste dessert-like, it also helped me to not crave to eat junk food. There were times when other people would be eating ice cream around me, and I remember thinking, I just can't wait to get home to make my fiber protein birthday cake flavor, because that one is one of my favorite ones, and it just reminded me a little bit like a frozen dessert, but a healthy one. So these shakes really helped me because I felt like I was having something really delicious, like dessert-like, as well as the satiety. The beans are full of both protein and fiber, which is everything when you're trying to lose weight. And as much as I like beans, I don't particularly love beans, and I found them a little bit difficult to figure out how to get into my diet every single day. So creating these fiber protein shakes that I was able to get the beans in, they were able to help keep me full, and at the same time taste delicious. It was like I discovered something that was just amazing. Like I was so happy and excited about it. Hence why I ended up creating even more flavors and put together a whole ebook based on these shakes alone, because they really were such a huge part of my weight loss journey. Okay, so I would start my day with a shake, and then that would usually carry me for about 3 or 4 hours, and then I would have my lunch. So for lunch, that was always an easy one for me. I'm a huge soup fan as well, except for the summertime. I know some of you guys out there are some strong soup lovers, and you will have soup all year round, no matter how hot it is, but I hate feeling hot. So in the summertime, my soup consumption dies down a little bit. But the rest of the year, I love eating soup. So I remember eating a lot of soup for lunch, which I find soup to be a very convenient food because it can be easily prepped in advance. I typically have a pot of soup made around here every 3 to 4 days. We have a soup on rotation. I just find it easy because it freezes well. You can also keep it in your fridge and just pull it out as you need it, heat it up, and you're good to go in under 5 minutes. So having a starchy soup for lunch was something that I consumed a lot. So as far as sandwiches go, I want to mention that for the first 20 pounds, I really wasn't eating bread. Like if I did, it would have been once or twice, but I really was focusing on just eating the wet starches, like potatoes, rice, sweet potatoes, and eating as minimally processed as possible. However, with this last 30 pounds or so, I have started to include a little bit more bread in my diet. I do have a very specific one, which is a very high fiber sprouted whole grain toast. So I will occasionally have that maybe once or twice a week, as well as I like making wraps on my 2 ingredient oat wraps. I have shown these recently again in some of my more recent videos. So if you guys haven't checked that video out, I will have that linked in my description box below. But these wraps are amazing because they are fat-free, oil-free, literally just made with oats and water, and they hold up so well. You can actually make them sweet or savory. I love these wraps. So if you're like me and you're gonna give bread a little bit of a break, then these oat wraps would be an excellent alternative. And the last 2 things I want to mention that were typical for a lunch for me was a starchy salad. So much like the starchy soup, starchy salads I find are super easy as well because they're very easy to make in advance and they generally keep well in the fridge. So I really love using quinoa as a base to a starchy salad. I find that it holds up the best, and it just kind of takes on whatever flavor you give it. I don't know, in the summertime, there's just something super fresh about a quinoa salad packed with a ton of veggies in it that just, speaks to me every time. Okay, and lastly for lunch, the super easy and lazy way to have lunch every single day is to just have leftovers. So you want to keep that in mind when you're making your dinner, that, if you really want to impress your future self, to make a little extra when making your dinner the night before, because your future self will definitely thank you when lunch rolls around the next day and you already have something to eat. This is actually something that I still practice to this day, and I'm always super happy when I can just pull leftovers out of the fridge and I don't don't even have to think about it. Okay, so lastly, dinner. So I had a lot of potatoes in that first 20 pounds that I was losing. Well, I actually still eat a lot of potatoes. So that includes both regular potatoes and sweet potatoes. Now, my favorite way to eat the potatoes, especially when I was losing that first 20 pounds, was Instant Pot potatoes. That's probably my #1 favorite way. They just come out so soft and fluffy, and you don't miss the fat at all. And you can easily top it with some salsa, with some nutritional yeast. Honestly, sometimes I just had it with a little salt and pepper, and that was good enough for me just because they are still so super moist out of the Instant Pot. Now, I also ate a lot of air fried French fries as well as sweet potato fries. And I must say that I mastered the art of making the perfect oil-free sweet potato fries. I think I made a video maybe last year about it. I'm gonna check, and if I did, I'm going to link it in my description box below, because let me tell you, you will not miss the oil or fat, and you could literally eat these every single day. Well, I pretty much did. So yes, you can definitely eat them every single day. They are delicious. So for dinner, I would always pair a starch, mostly potatoes, rice bowls as well, with some type of non-starchy veggie. And my 2 favorite non-starchy veggies at that time were zucchini noodles, or zoodles I think we call them, with my amazing cheese sauce that literally only takes 5 minutes to make. I pour that all over the zoodles, and oh my gosh, like my mouth is watering just thinking of it now. I need to make these probably today. I ate them like they were going out of style. I loved, loved, loved zoodles. And the other favorite of mine was my carrot salad. If I have a picture, I'm gonna post it up on this video. This salad hits in all the best ways. It is amazing because it is just popping with so much flavor. I've had a handful of you guys reach out to me to say how much you also love this carrot salad. It also holds up really good in the fridge, so that was another favorite of mine to make in advance, and just, oh, it just paired perfectly with just about any starch. It's really, really, really delicious. So both of those recipes can be found in my No Overt Fat Weight Loss Recipe ebook. So if you have the book, just go in there, you can find the recipes. But again, those are just the foods that I was eating. You don't necessarily have to be eating the exact same thing. The idea is to just pair a starch with a non-starchy veggie and you're golden. So simple is always best. Now, I did just recently put out this video here where I do talk about a 4-step formula that I'm kind of following now, and I have been following for, I'd say, probably the last like 20 pounds, 25 pounds that I've lost. And it's a super, super general rule of thumb that you can follow when building your dinner. There's only 4 key steps to think of when you're building your plate. So if you haven't checked out that video, I will also have this linked in my description box below, because it'll go into more detail there of exactly how I build my plate now for weight loss. All right, everyone, so that was a typical day of what a high fiber breakfast, lunch, and dinner looked like for me while I was losing the first 20 pounds. And all of those things that I talked about today are still things that I implement in my daily routine to this day. So I've almost lost 60 pounds, and I still have about another 20 or 25 pounds to go, but I'm honestly not even sweating it at this point. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and my body will kind of let me know as I go along if I'm on the right track, but there is no rush. I'm not panicked about it, so it'll happen when it happens. But if you are new to my channel and you want to follow along my personal health and weight loss journey, you want to get all my tips as far as what I'm doing and be here for when I finally do reach my end goal, then be sure to hit the subscribe button, because I would love to have you stick around. I hope this video helped you and possibly gave you some new ideas about kind of how to get started on your weight loss journey, or, you know, if you've been at it and just kind of, you know, felt a little bit lost, then maybe some of the things I talked about today will inspire you to get back on track. So if you found any value in today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up, and head down to the comments and let me know what resonated with you the most. So also don't forget to check out that awesome book sale, because it will be over by the end of the weekend. So again, you can find that link in my description box below. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you in the next one.